Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. My camera just doesn't look quite right today. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for all of your support, your beautiful comments, your personal readings, your donations, your gifts. Thank you so much. I had a little gift yesterday. Grandchild number 9 arrived into the world about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, so that was absolutely beautiful. He's an absolute delight. So there we go. That's probably going to be the tail end of the grandchildren for me, but 9 grandchildren isn't a bad effort, I might add. So all right, and I have great grandchild number 2 on the way in February next year, so definitely widening the brood. All right, for those of you who want to book a personal reading with me, you can now do that via my website, which is www.theaussiegoddess.com. You can book it, pay for it, choose whether you want it on Zoom, whether you want it by phone, whatever. It's all there for you. If you live overseas, you do have to work out your timing, but if you get stuck with that, I would suggest you have a look at the world clock. There is a time zone calculator which is so easy to use, and if you're wondering where I am in the world, I'm in Australian Eastern Daylight Time, or Sydney, Australia, if you're looking for within Australia, because of course we have 5 time zones, I think it is here, 6 if you include sort of the New Zealand one as well. Not that it's part of Australia, but we do tend to sort of include them with us too. So so if you really do get stuck with that, or you can't find a time that's suitable, do contact me directly. I do keep some additional appointments for those people who work or outside of regular hours. But I don't usually work weekends unless I'm doing classes, which I will be this Saturday because it's the 23rd and beginner's tarot class. I'm looking forward to that one. Alrighty, I don't think there's anything else I can tell you about. I know that we are out of lockdown somewhat. We are still restricted from some things, but our vaccination rate's sort of getting up there and looking a little bit decent in comparison to the rest of the world. So hopefully it won't be too long before we can travel, and then we can get back to doing some of the stuff we haven't been doing for such a long time. Okie dokie, we're going to use the Green Witch Tarot for your reading today. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing else I've forgotten. All right, Spirit, that was a strange split. Thank you, that was much better. All right, so we have the Queen of Wands coming through. The Queen of Wands is a card that represents the fire signs. Leo, Sag, Aries. The Queen of Wands as a character or an energy is one where we see someone who's attractive, vibrant, passionate about what she does. She's a leader in her own field, but she's very confident and self-assured. This is a person who knows what they want and goes after it. So the Queen of Wands coming through, but I have a feeling this is your energy, and it may be in regard to your work at the moment. So it's possible that in some areas in your life at the moment, you're really understanding, what do I want to put work into and what do I want to walk away from? And this is your choice, and you're understanding that in the Queen of Wands energy. It's like, is this worth putting work into? Do I leave this behind? Is it something I want to create something more of? Is it that I want to go for a promotion? Is it that I want this relationship to get to a really healthy point? Whatever it is, you're understanding though now that the choice lays in your hands. Maybe you've always been a person who's been not quite so confident or not quite so self-assured. So maybe you've questioned yourself in the past as to what you want to do or where you want to go. But I feel like with this 8 of Pentacles here, you really are showing yourself what direction you want to go in. The 4 of Cups here for me represents letting go of all the things that have held you back in the past. So it's like, I know what I want, I'm going to go for it, I'm just going to let go of all the doubts and the worries I've had or the fears I've had, and I'm going after this. Very, very clear energy here. Strength card. So for many of you, you've worked on this energy. You may have done a lot of work, like many of us. It's a continual sort of work in progress. But sometimes we can still falter with the confidence or the self-assuredness. But I'm feeling like here this Queen of Wands energy is saying to me, you're really sure of the direction you're going in now. You're going to cut out anything that's held you back or anything that you perceive as possibly holding you back. I see with the Strength card you've worked with something in your shadow side here. So I feel like whatever this is, you've started to understand yourself at a much deeper level. I feel like here it's like you've become real friends with yourself. So you're treating yourself as somebody that deserves everything that you've always given to others, but you're putting it back inside yourself here. There's a sense of like this bravado. It's not overconfidence, it's not being smug or anything like that. It's just about standing in your space and really understanding what you want here. The King of Pentacles represents Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy. But the King of Pentacles is a person who's worked his way to the top. He knows how important it is to have, you know, the finer things of life. He has a good job. He's very secure. He's, you know, happy to relish in his own rewards, I want to say. This is a person who knows their value. He is the king. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups coming through here with the Death card. Okay, Seven of Swords, radio. So I can see straight away what you're doing here. You are manifesting something new. You are letting go of all the things that have held you back in the past, the sabotage. This is all being laid to rest. You're not even worried about that anymore. I feel like you're giving yourself a lot of love here, and that is really evident in that Knight of Cups. So it's like you've started to understand what to let go of, what to hold on to, what you need on your journey, what you don't need on your journey, and you're starting to understand your value, which is really beautiful. What a nice reading for a Monday morning. And look at that. So we have the Judgment card coming through. In this card, it's called Harvest. It is sort of implying that there's so much abundance coming through to you here. It's like you really see, you know, what's possible with this Judgment card. The Judgment card does represent rebirth, and I feel like this is what you're doing. You're stepping out of the shadows, Spirit is saying to me here. That's really, that line is very potent. You're stepping out of the shadow and into the light. You're starting to see yourself in a brand new way. You're driving your own car. You're steering your own ship. Like whatever you'd like to see it as. It's like you're finally starting to understand the power you have in your own life here. All right, let's see where we're going with this. All right, we have the Sun card. Oh, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. And Temperance. I feel like I ta-da for major arcanas right here. This is a very powerful reading for whoever's resonating with this reading today. This is a very powerful reading. I'm here to tell you that you've hit the gong. You're ready to go. You have worked on all your limitations. You're not doubting anymore. And I feel like many of you have gone through this sort of energy of doubting, backwards and forwards, and doubting and being sure and doubting, but being sure, but always questioning. And there's an energy now that you're putting all that to rest. You're 100% sure of where you're going. You're standing in your truth. You're understanding your personal confidence, and it's showing in these cards here. We have the card of rebirth being followed by the Sun, which, as I always say, is the most beautiful card in the deck. It just denotes joy, happiness, love, everything that's vital for a good life force. But you see, the universe is saying here with the Wheel of the Year that for many of you, you've worked off some sort of karmic cycle here. You're starting to understand your personal truth, and you have the Temperance card. So the Temperance card showing here that balance has been achieved, that you're finally in this energy of not going backwards and forwards, not teetering, tottering like you've done before. That's the thing of the past. Now you know your direction, the path's opened up, and you're ready to move forward. All right, look at this. We have the Emperor coming here. So there's definitely this energy of taking back all major arcanas. Holy dooly. Okay, So you have the Fool card coming through after the Emperor. So I'm really wondering what the next card's going to be. The Two of Pentacles. See, this is the energy you've been in for some time, and this is the energy you're achieving now. So it's like you've gone backwards and forwards and probably still sort of fallen into this self-doubt energy. But I feel like here with the Emperor and the Fool card, you're sort of in the energy now of taking this leap of faith. It's like, I'm just going to go for it. If, you know, whatever happens. Like I always say, there's no such thing as failure. It's like all learning. So you're ready to take the plunge. You're standing in your own truth. You're understanding your value, and you're ready to get out there and do what you need to do. There's another major arcana with the High Priestess. Oh my goodness. And then we have the Hermit. I don't think I've ever seen so many major arcanas in a spread. So the High Priestess talks about our intuition. It talks about us trusting ourselves even when we don't know what to expect. And we don't with the High Priestess. She is the keeper of secrets. She is the energy of not really knowing what's in front of you, but going for it anyway. The Hermit card sort of saying to me that you've seen where you need to go. It's like you've understood. You're following your light now. You're following your light. You understand where you need to go, and you're ready to go on this journey. Okay, and we have the Five of Swords coming up. You are just ready to leave everything behind. And I don't mean in terms of, you know, people, places and things, although it might be. You might be choosing to leave behind relationships. You may be choosing to move. You may be relocating to a brand new area. But it's part of this change. It's part of this energy that's coming through here. The Five of Swords for me is a card of winning at all costs. It's like, you know, knowing what you want and going for it without looking back. You're taking up those swords and you're heading in the direction you want to be. No longer being a slave to anything here. Because you know who you are now. So we've definitely got this energy of trusting in yourself. I feel like for some of you this has been a long journey, putting work into what you needed to put work in, and a lot of you done a huge amount of self-work here. And I speak to people all the time with personal readings, and people really understanding how to take the lessons away from things, you know, meditating on things, studying things, trying to understand who they are. You know, we used to always look for this gap within ourselves, this hole that we had, and we used to wonder how to fill it. And I've seen so many people fill it with the things that they don't really need without understanding that hole is about your own self-love, your own pain. So I feel like you're doing that here. There is a letting go of things that don't serve you any longer. Major Arcana here again with the Strength card. It's about understanding your personal strengths, but also understanding there are things that limit you or things that have held you back, but no longer letting them be the major cause of you not moving forward, not making excuses for yourself, letting go of that whole victim mentality. I feel it in this card just falling away like snow on a warm day. It's just crazy. It just feels so freeing. You've freed yourself up and you're stepping into the energy of the King of Pentacles. You're grounded. You know that what you need to do, if this is in regards to your work, you know the direction you want to go in. You understand what has been given to you and the direction of your life path. Now everything seems to have fallen in place. I feel like you've gifted yourself with this really, I love it how he's heading towards the Death card here. It's like, you know, loving yourself but learning to let go of the things that no longer serve you here. I feel like for many of you, this is always for me the Seven of Swords, the energy of self-sabotage, not allowing yourself to try things just in case things don't go the right way. You know, opening yourself up to risk, opening yourself up to opportunity here. And then comes the Magician, another major arcana, saying that you have worked out now how to manifest the life you want. God, it's beautiful energy here. But I can't believe we have 8 out of 10 cards on the table that are all major arcana. So some big events going down. And I know that we're hearing about this a little bit at the moment. I watched a few readings on, I think it may have been on Saturday morning, and a lot of the readers talking about a big event coming through. So we know things are changing. we know that we're all sort of stepping into our own who we are, stepping into who we are, no longer carrying with us the pains of our past or our limitations or our doubts and fears. Six of Swords coming through with the Queen of Swords. There you go. I love it. And the Ace of Pentacles. For some of you, this may be really just choosing to take a completely new career direction. I feel like there's been a sudden energy of you realizing that you've been doing something for a very long time, and you may be bored with it, but it more feels like you've sort of accomplished what you needed to do, and now you're going after something brand new. And for many of you, this may be a new job, new money, new relationship, but you're certainly realizing here with the Queen of Swords that you have the power here with this sword in your hand to do whatever you need to do. That may mean cutting people out, it may be letting situations go, but you know now when you look at that sword the direction you're going in. Very beautiful reading. All right, let's have a look and see what Spirit has to say to you here. I'm reading from the Le Vampire Oracle deck here. Oh, transmission. Oh, I can hear Thunderbirds Are Go for all of you old people out there. All right, this is card number 7. This is about spreading of conditions, influence and impact. There are those who cannot bear to be parted, and so even if one has been infected with what you call a negative, something that is likely to create difficulty and challenges in life, or even compromise life, some would rather share the negative experience than be parted by the possibility of two separate experiences. Thus we have a strange phenomenon, the deliberate adoption of behaviours and attitudes, and sometimes even illnesses, almost as if they are infectious, even when they are not. You have names for this in your medical world, and your social scientists do work on this too. Who we spend our time with, who we share our lives with, is who we are likely to become. We are special beings, even us, and we adapt and adopt and become alike over time. It is as simple as observing that who you are with, who you spend your time with, who you choose to surround you, will have an influence on you. As your poet John Donne said, no man is an island, and so we sisters are here to tell you of the danger you're courting and the decision you must make. For you are either influencing another very strongly, and they may make a life-changing decision simply to share life with you more closely. They cannot bear to be separate and will draw closer to you through this. Or another is influencing you very strongly, and you would rather endure what some call hell than be separated by diverging experiences. Wow, okay. For we sisters, the choice was made long ago. One of us was transformed against her wishes, but the other could not be left behind to live and die as a mortal while the other watched. And our different natures grew further and further apart over the years. We could not bear to experience that, so we are together for as long as we can sustain this form. Was this the right thing for us to choose? Should we have made another creature deliberately, knowing the suffering it may bring? Perhaps we should not have, but for us, facing our lives as separate beings, one a danger to the other was not even a consideration. For you, your choice may be easier. Think before the influence that need not be takes a little of your soul away. It says here you will have someone to travel with on the journey you're undertaking. There will be friendship, laughter, and the sharing of the experience. I feel like here what Spirit is talking about is allowing yourself to go through this change. Allowing yourself to be the person you were meant to be. Not to fight against it, but to understand that sometimes we're going to change, sometimes we leave people behind, places behind, whatever it is. But this change is really necessary for you on your journey. What I do feel for some of you I'm talking to, that you may be going through some sort of process here of transformation to come into union with somebody else, but you need to go through this transformation first. Whatever it is, you are really stepping into your power here and becoming the most beautiful version of yourself. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.